Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Bum bum ba-da-dum dum ba-da-dum dum. Hello everybody and welcome in to Winter is Blooming, a Game of Thrones rewatch podcast by us, the Penny Bloom Podcast. Today we are on our fourth penultimate episode. We've got season 4, episode 9, titled The Watchers on the Wall, written by D&D, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, directed by Neil Marshall. I am Colton Robertson, and I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you, and this is one that I have been so excited for ever since we began this project. I think this one flies under the radar as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, sadly. I don't know. I can't believe it. Like, I knew Egret's death was the main thing I remember from this episode, but I don't remember, like, how freaking awesome this whole battle was. Like, I mean, it's beautiful to look at. So I want to give a little respect to the cinematographer here in David Franco, because this gentleman has been... Dave Franco?
Was not that Dave Franco. But he's worked on a great many things. He was the second unit director of photography for Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He was the director of photography. The credit says director of photography, China. So if a scene was shot in China in Revenge of the Sith.
In China?
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith? Maybe a volcano? Maybe Mustafar? I don't know where Mustafar even is, if that was even anywhere near a volcano. But yeah, I'd assume.
But yeah, no. Director of photography in China for Revenge of the Sith, which is interesting. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, just a couple of my favorite movies. So that was fun to see that he worked on them, and he works on one of my favorite episodes of Game of Thrones ever, because this one's fucking gorgeous. I mean, I think this one kind of sets the standard for what the epic battle episodes of Thrones become. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that this walks so that, like, Battle of the Bastards and The Long Night can fucking fly, you know?
Yeah, because the only other... Like, I'm trying to think of the other episodes that have been spent on one location and one location only. And I know Blackwater was only at King's Landing. I think, is that the only one?
That's it. We haven't had another one like that.
And I'd take this episode over Blackwater any day. Like, I've just the suspense that was building at the beginning. And I don't know. I think I just like the storyline at the wall more as well, instead of, like, it's just Stannis coming in and getting wiped out by a bunch of dragon fire or wildfire at the end.
No, this is a long running payoff here. This almost, you got this battle of ancient orders almost, or an ancient order versus a people who they have always had beef with. You know, like we've heard tale of this war to come since season 2.
Winter
like,
and this isn't even the winter part. This is just the wildlings that have all united. Like, it's not even the actual threat that they thought that they'd be or I guess, I don't know, there's multiple threats that are beyond the wall. And the wildlings just one of them. But yeah, no, this I don't know. This I can't believe how, like, you're right, how, like, under the radar I was on this episode. Like, and how I didn't really hold this one up there with all the other ones, because you asked me before, I would have probably put Blackwater above this episode before watching it. Like, I don't know. I think just more.
There's a moment,
memorable moment. Yeah, it just has like that bam, just boom, everyone exploding and dying. It's just very visually memorable. But this one is like everything that's happening. Like, there's so many little.
It's also happening to characters you like. You know, Like, when it comes to the Battle of the Blackwater, you know, you like Bronn and you like Tyrion, you don't like much of anybody else who's actually in danger when you're down there. But you're looking at this one.
Yeah.
I thought Samwell was fucked. Like, the first time I watched this, I think Samwell is done for. He is going to die. Love that guy, but rest in peace, man. Like, if Oberyn Martell died last week, Samwell Tarly's dying this week. You know what I'm saying? Ygritte, Jon, like, they're all at risk, and that's, you kind of enjoy pretty much everyone here except Alistair Thorne and the Thenns. You know what I'm saying? And Janos Slynt. But everyone else, you're kind of a fan of.
Slynt. Yeah. Oh,
Slynt.
It's just a good laugh. Like now knowing it's coming, I'm just like, yeah, all right, you go down to your hide hole, up, but like already up on the wall when he's starting like to be like, no, those are fake. Giants aren't even real.
Aren't real. Those are things of legend.
There's
children.
two right fucking there, dude. You can like open your eyes. But no,
I'd grab being a fucking real one and being like, yo, you need to fucking leave, man.
I almost gave Grin the character for this.
Dude,
I don't know.
He's a goodie. So let's really dig at it. Let's dig into it.
There's a whole lot that happens. I think
there's plenty.
Better if we take
it. It's a pretty comprehensive breakdown. So we're going to start at the wall where we will finish. And the first scene is my favorite scene, actually. Jon and Sam standing atop the wall, staring out into the darkness of the north, awaiting the imminent wildling invasion. And Sam's like, so what was it like? And Jon's like, what of it? And, being with a woman. This whole fucking thing. Incredible. And a big payoff from one of their earlier interactions from the foundation of their friendship, I'm sure you've slept with some. Nope, never, got close once, but, now they can pay it off with like him being like, yeah. And the way he describes it, like, you tangled up in them and they tangled up in you. And for a
minute, I mean, for a longer, I felt like he like said a little bit and he's like, wait, well, I don't want to make it sound like I went quick there. It actually, I don't know. But I love how he just kept stumbling and like just always like going back.
Oh, no, I'm not a bleeding poet.
Oh no, it's great, man. It's awesome. What else do we want to say? Like, it's just a great experience. But I love like Sam just being like, well, we're all going to die a lot sooner than I planned. So you're the only way. Yeah. You're the closest thing I'm ever going to get to that. So just let me know, their interactions were so good. Yeah. Just the calm before the battle. I think that's where like the best scenes actually come from I
think in most battle episodes, it's kind of where the best moments come from, I like that, something that season 8 gets a lot of flack for is that in a 6-episode season, we're not doing a lot in the first couple episodes, But I love season 8, episode 2. I think what's funny about looking back on the reception of season 8 is it doesn't get real bad, the reception of season 8, until the Night King dies and so does the rest of the Army of the Dead. And it's just like, oh, well, we're halfway through the season and that's just it. But like for the first few weeks, people were like, oh, fuck yeah, this season's awesome. And that episode 2 where it is literally nothing but the night before, basically. That's they made these few minutes the entire episode. And I think that you get so many great emotional little beats from everybody because Aemon says it later in the episode, there's no greater time to reflect and live in the past than when you think death is imminent.
Yeah, Aemon was a real one here. I don't know where he was hiding out, or wherever during this battle. But I just
fooling somewhere.
Yeah, I just like I don't know. I've never thought about that until this watch. I'm like, oh yeah, where was Aemon at? Like, he's maybe it's just in the library. He's reading.
Just going to fucking town. He's going full shirt, Imway, Matt Murdock, Daredevil out there, bro.
Yeah, put on a mask so no one can suspect it's actually him. He's like Maester Pycelle, but turned to 100. He's like just everyone doesn't expect a thing from him. So that's I'm curious if I thought I saw. I didn't take count because it was just too much at one point. But they said there was only 102 Night's Watchmen left. And I could have sworn there was more than 102 Night's Watchmen that I saw die on screen. Like the amount of death, I'm actually wondering what the number. Like, I mean, 102 is a lot more than you think, actually, like, seeing how many deaths. But I wonder how many, like, we actually saw die versus how much they say is left, you know? Because I feel like a shit ton died. Like, I mean, if I had to throw a number, I would throw, like, 50, 60. If I had to throw a number. But, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like, no, 150 Night's Watchmen died here whenever, you know, just because you needed people to get splat and, you know, dead for the episode, whatever.
There's some of my favorite ever Thrones kills in this episode, and we will discuss that more later. But
this is true, yeah.
More to this scene. My favorite scene. I want to spend a little time on it since I did give it that. Other part of the scene that I absolutely love is Sam being like, John being like, "Oh, you'd break your vows," and him being like, "Well, you know,
actually,
there's nothing that actually explicitly says we can't have sex."
Yeah. So basically, I read the rule book word by word, and it says, we can have a wife, and we can have a kid. It's pretty clear about that.
It's awfully specific.
But what we do before that is up for interpretation. And like, it's like, well,
and this conversation actually comes through in an interesting way, I think, where John's like, you know, I don't think the Night's Watch cares much for interpretation. So later on, he decides to interpret the vow when he dies and comes back to life as being the end of his vow. He's like, you know what? That's it. Technically, I died. You know, he's like,
he did use a technicality there, but I mean, he did die.
There's nothing that explicitly says
he did.
If you die and come back to life, you got to serve.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, I would. I mean, I think he's done. At the end of this episode, he's pretty much done taking orders from anyone. Like I don't think he really cares about the rules or the technicalities about it anymore. He's just
no, man. This is the episode where John becomes John officially. And it's actually massively impressive to see that happen. You know, like John's been through stuff. We've seen him go through a lot of shit. This is the first time he's been in battle. You know, like hardened by battle. He's fought for survival a couple of times. Him versus 6 people.
Okay.
You know,
he's
fought against people, but he's never been in war. You know, and what he experiences here is the loss that war can bring you on an extremely personal level, and he becomes the brooding, hardened bastard that we know and love in this episode. You know, like that's why we're still in the first scene. I gave Kit Harington my performance. I
thought so for him at first. But I think another one sneaked in there for me. But he's getting my character without a doubt, John, this episode. I just think for that reason, exactly, that there was like a moment whenever Gren told whatever the fuck
Janos,
Slint, to go down, and you know, you're needed down there.
Go around, and he's like, John, you know what?
That moment right there, I was like, all right, let's fucking go. I don't know, like almost a tear. Almost like a tear fell from my eye. I'm like, now that's my boy, Jon Snow. You know, like lead, look around, see your men you're leading here, and like, so he got my character nod just for all the, I don't know, the decisions at the end, a whole lot of things, but almost got my performance as well. But I figured
I love him in this episode. I feel like we finally see. I've been waiting for it. You know, like specifically watching John and going, what was the actual point when I decided, oh, you know what? This is my favorite character in the show. And I think it's got to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the ball had already been rolling. You know, I liked his storyline. But this is the point when you go, oh, I fucking love Jon Snow, dude. But nevertheless, John offers to go ahead and take the watch for the rest of the night, tell Sam to go ahead and head below and get some sleep before the battle. And as Sam steps into the wooden lift and begins to descend the wall, an owl lands atop and begins hooting loudly. The same sound we heard prior to the Molestown kind of destruction caused by the wildlings that Gilly knew, oh, that means they're here. They got another warg, the Then, who is a member of the platoon outside under the command of Tormund and Styr. And they've set up camp just outside the southern entrance to Castle Black. Tormund boasts a bit here about, her fangs were sharp that evening. And I like that it's kind of ambiguous what he's talking about for a little bit. And then when Ygritte goes, "You never fucked a bear. You know you never fucked a bear. I don't want to hear you talk about you fucking the bear."
Like, I don't know. Do you think Tormund's kind of I say he makes up the story just to, I don't know, to boost morale, whatever. But I could see Tormund actually going about this, like, I know, I don't know. I think I'm more on Ygritte's side here. I don't think he fucked a bear.
Yeah,
like
I would believe him had Ygritte not so confidently been like, "I know you never fucked a bear. You know you never."
Yeah. I don't want to hear about the bear that you never fucked, dude.
Yeah,
right, let's stop
that's
this.
the line.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
so fucking good. And if we got more of the pre-battle interactions with Ygritte, there was a good chance she got my character. I just don't think. Sadly, for her death episode, I don't think there's enough with her to have given her that. Because I mean, we haven't been shy about giving it to her in the past. She's gotten 4 character nods before, which is like top 5 in terms of numbers, which is kind of crazy. But Ygritte's the shit, so like this little back and forth, the intensity she's coming with whenever they're talking about, what are they going to do with Jon Snow?
He's mine.
He's mine.
If any of you even try, you'll get an arrow too. Like she was letting everyone know. Like they were kind of,
and they all know it. They all know what she's about.
No, I don't know. She had a lot of good lines here. Like,
sure.
we might be here a while. We may have to sit a while. She's like, "Good, that's more arrows, more crows for me to kill." And like everyone was like, "Shit!" Like,
damn. She's intense about this.
Like, okay, we get it. Like,
it sucks that Styr, he's right. Whenever he's like, I think you got more words than you do arrows. And I know she didn't hesitate to kill any crow besides Jon Snow. But she was not going to be the person to kill Jon, and she didn't know it until the moment came. Yeah, they go back and forth briefly about her ginger minge, and they claim that, that she doesn't have it in her. But just outside the camp, we see a shaded person cradling something passing by the wildlings, unnoticed, which I thought was interesting. I don't think that comes back around, really.
No, I think that's Gilly.
Oh, is it Gilly?
Like,
it is. It is.
Like, you bringing it back up, I forgot that it was even there. But now that like we see Gilly run up to the gate,
next.
but like, why'd she get that close? She got real close to him. Like, I guess
only way to the gate.
Almost down to the gate. I guess kind of had to, but yeah, dang, I didn't even. Yeah, wow, I didn't even until you brought it back up. I didn't even because I remember when I first saw it, I'm like, wait, who the fuck is that? I'm like, is that like?
Well, actually, I didn't even see it. The breakdown mentions it, and I'm like, I don't think that comes back around, does it?
You did? Oh, yeah. It was like climbing, like you saw like uphill, and then it was just like a hooded figure. You could tell like they were holding something, but now it was her baby. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah. And then she just kind of just keeps walking like towards Castle Black. So okay, that makes sense now though.
Gotcha. But all the while, Sam is caught reading a book about wildlings. He's caught by Maester Aemon, and Aemon correctly guesses that Sam is reading the book because he wants to know what kind of fate might have befallen Gilly. I love the way Sam, Aemon's like, there's only one person who'd be wasting candles in the middle of the night to read.
How'd you know it was me, Maester Aemon? He's like, dude, come on. Yeah, who the fuck else?
There is literally no one else besides you and me who comes into this library, and I'm right here,
Yeah, this was my favorite scene. Another calm before the battle. I don't know, just Sam's doing his Sam thing, and I don't know, just trying to read up on the wildlings, get to know them before the battle, whatever. I don't know, or if it's for have some comfort with Gilly, but I don't know. I just love Aemon he's just too experienced. You can tell this dude has just been around and he knows like just, I don't know, very wise man. And I love the like back and forth of Sam being like, no, I don't. He's like, no, you love her. He's like, no, I don't. I swear. He's like, no, I could tell when you first spoke and you brought her in here that you loved her. He's like, no, I knew right then and there. And then Sam's like, well, have you ever loved? Or I don't even think he asks. Like, Eamon's like, yeah, I used to love someone.
I was in love once.
And Sam's like, what? How's that even possible? And then Eamon's like,
are you fucking for real, dude?
He's like, you saw White Walkers and all that wild shit, and your wife maybe, or your lover maybe dead, but you can't believe that I wasn't like you when I was younger. I don't know, just like I don't think if he has this conversation with Eamon, then he's like as calm as he is throughout the whole battle. Like, I think this is if he would have just kept reading and kept like getting more and more scared, if Eamon didn't come down and quiet him out, then we wouldn't have gotten, him giving Pip his last kind of, I think Pip, right? Is that poor Pip. But like, I don't know, Sam's interactions throughout this whole episode, I just absolutely adored. And I thought he saw so much character development here. But that's why I gave him my performance.
And I gave him my character.
So yeah, I think I like how we spread the love a little bit with Kit Harington and
just flipped it.
Yeah, but John Bradley, I don't think John Bradley, he did very well. He had to play the frightened Sam for a little bit, but then this like stoic, like just having it all down, no battle experience really whatsoever, but he's the one like telling everyone to calm down, and like like the no one line that he had like with Pip, like I don't know, I think he had a lot of range this episode, and I don't know, I really liked him, so I wanted to. It was maybe going to be a clean sweep with John this episode, but
no, I think that, and that's the thing is that I expected that, but I was shocked to find that wasn't at all the case for me. Like, in fact, until the end of this episode, I wasn't even going to give him performance. Wow, it is the ending that kind of seals that for me. But up until then, it was going to be a clean Sam sweep for me, like as far as the character and performance, because John Bradley does fantastic in this episode. This is kind of the episode. We see John kind of become John. I think Sam is like he's almost reached like the pinnacle of who he's supposed to be, sort of. Because after this interaction, whenever they announce that a rider's approaching, and Sam's coming down, and he's like, open the gate, and Pip's like, I can't. They told me I can't. Pip, open the fucking gate. I was like, yeah.
Pip was even like, he's like, oh shit, yeah.
Hey, man, I've never heard you curse like that.
Okay, man. He's like, okay, I'll open the gate, man. This must be serious.
No, I fucking loved that, and that was when I wrote Sam down and was like, "There's literally no way that another character beats him here." Because, I mean, this whole scene when he welcomes Gilly back, and he's like, "I will never leave you again. Wherever you go, I go," and that was one that I almost picked for my line as well.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that is a good one. No, I don't know. There was like usually a line will hit me, and I'll like no, like right then and there. But this one, I don't know. I'm just so.
Yeah, there's no
enveloped in the chaos that like I'm so much else is going on that like there were so many lines that got like me to even be like, yeah, like get hype with them, or like even like a one like this where it's not a hype moment, but I'm like screaming for Sam or screaming for John. Yeah.
He's got his baby back, and like Sam,
my baby boy, my brave boy. Yeah, he even calls him like my brave little boy or something like that. Like it was so cute just getting them back with each other.
I loved that, man, and I loved that their reunion is cut short here by a couple blows from the horn, indicating that Mance's wildling army has finally begun their assault. And Sam rushes to get Gilly to safety inside the castle, while other brothers in the Night's Watch prepare for the impending attack. And atop the wall, John hears the horns and looks north, where we witness what is apparently the biggest fire the North has ever seen.
I guess it's a perspective thing, maybe. We're on top of the wall, so we're like super high up, and it's actually very far away. And I guess at the time, this is a pretty big fire for them.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. This is this is an objectively large fire, but the biggest fire the North has ever seen. I think, like, what I'm anticipating when I hear you say the biggest fire that like light up as far as I can see, dog, like
maybe,
really,
I mean,
really
I guess
just shit all over Smokey the Bear.
Maybe that's how big 100,000 is. Like, maybe
Right.
they're just like, all right, as we walk up, let's get as spread out as we can, and then we'll light up, because like they don't have cars. I mean, they have horses and stuff. I guess well, they could have just had like one or two guys just kept going out, on horses and something. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know.
What's even more impressive is that this I'll give it a little credit. To light a fire this large, apparently this quickly, is pretty impressive. Because
That's true.
John was sitting up there looking out there, and he doesn't see the fire until the horns blow.
And Tormund and all the cannibal people, they can see it from the other side of the wall. And I think that's the main point. I think that was the point of being like, yeah, the people who are going to be on the other side of the wall during this time, they'll be able to see that fire and they'll know that it's time.
Yeah. No, so I don't want to talk too much shit on the biggest fire the North has ever seen.
Though. I mean, you're right. It's a fantasy TV show, and we're seeing giants and mammoths and this shit walk out.
Light my shit up as far as the eye can see, bro.
Like wildfires,
it's cold as fuck. It'll tame.
Yeah. Wildlings could have had some like ice fire tech shit. Could have been blue fire, like just the whole fucking forest up in flames or something. But it's okay. It's okay.
It is what it is. I just expected more of the biggest fire the North has ever seen. But yeah, it's quite the conflagration of wildlings. But south of the wall, the Thenn warg's owl spots the fire and informs Styr and Tormund that the time has come to attack. So they don't see it. The Thenn's fucking warged owl sees it.
That's right, because the owl's on top of the wall, so it isn't even big enough to see from the other side. Yeah,
this is bullshit. Now I'm pissed.
They really flopped. Yeah, now, you know what? This episode is trash. I hate it now.
No. They could have slayed, but they flopped. But nevertheless, the time has come to attack, and Jon approaches Sir Alistair Thorne, who's finally like, well, you know what? You can say I told you so, man. Yeah, 100,000 strong, you say. We absolutely should have sealed that fucking tunnel.
Yeah, whenever he's standing up there and it's pretty clear, he's like, well, that's the easiest decision I could have ever made, but you just didn't believe, like what, like, I don't know. Is it just that he didn't want to believe that an army was actually coming there? Or
I gotta guess there has to be a degree of denial and just intense distrust of Jon, which we know he has. We know he doesn't like Jon, so I think there might be validity in the idea that Alistair truly questions Jon's, loyalty. So, and he literally tells them that he told Mance that they had 1,000 men, not 100 men. So maybe there's something there where he starts thinking like, what if he inflated their number to us to make us more intimidated? Mm-hmm. There's just a lot that could be going on in Alistair's head. I don't think it's anything beyond him being jealous of him being a young, hot, badass. But
because I mean, this was, I don't know, really nice interactions between them though. Like him just being like, well, all right, yeah, no, you were right. I'm kind of dumb, but I still hate you though. Like, and remember that if we live through this, which we will, I hate you still. I got my boy's over there.
Gotta have Jon. Gotta have Jon on the pod. Little pop figure. But no, Alistair, this is the one episode, and there are no other episodes where he is a likable character. This is the only episode he is a likable character, because I really enjoyed him in this one. And again, I considered him sooner on than I did Kit Harington or Jon Snow because I think that he does a fantastic job here, where he grimly muses that leadership often means being second guessed by every clever little twat with a mouth, and when a man in charge second guesses himself, that's when everything is doomed. And it's quite funny that he would muse about leadership being second guessed, because he literally assassinates and commits a mutiny against Jon Snow later on.
Huh, that's okay. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, a good lesson though to be taught. Maybe just he's not the best leader to follow his own lessons, but at least he knows that that's what you're supposed to do,
right.
as a good leader. But I don't know, Jon always has like these moments with someone, like him with Ned, right before he leaves, gives him like a lesson. Him for Aemon, I feel like gives him a lesson. Mormont, Lord Commander Mormont, whenever he was alive, gave him like a lesson on top of the wall, I think. Yeah, like I don't know, just all these little tidbits that are like fueling his leadership, just his leadership bucket of experience. Like just a little bit at a time, and like it's just what makes him, I don't know, like it's not that he, like with Daenerys, it's like she's clearly already where she needs to be, and like she's already at the top of, like, at peak. Like I don't know, she's already peaked Daenerys. But Jon, it's like just this slow burn over a long time that you keep liking him more and more and more. Like every time he gets like that another notch on his belt.
No, that's what's cool. And that's what's cool about the dichotomy between Daenerys and Jon is the irony is that he's born to it. Like he is legitimately Aegon Targaryen, the heir to the Iron Throne. He is born to be a king.
Mm-hmm.
But he has to rise from the bottom. Meanwhile, Daenerys, who would not be considered for the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms if there were other Targaryens left, because she's a woman, because that's just the way Westeros works. Like she's got it like that, and she wants to make sure you fucking know she's got it like that. It's kind of fascinating to see that Jon kind of learns it, whereas Daenerys, it's kind of innate. She just kind of rose to the top, and that was that.
She saw her opportunity and she took it. I don't know. Yeah, they're kind of like on a like inverse path. Like Daenerys is like she already started so strong. She did have a climb, but now it's like
season one. Like, with the Dothraki, for sure.
You like her now, but then it's like you're already behind killing slave owners and all that stuff. But I don't know, there's something that's like tugging you away from Daenerys a little bit. Like, oh, maybe that decision wasn't actually right. Like, I don't know. Like, it's you still like her and you know that she's like the leader you get behind. But it's like these little things that kind of pull you back. But for Jon, it's the opposite. It's like every single time he does something, it's just like, oh, I would follow that man to the ends of the earth. Like, I don't know. It's like this slow burn.
We get that first little payoff in this one for him kind of stepping into that role. But regardless, Thorne's little lesson for Jon ceases, and steeling himself for the impending siege, Thorne begins barking orders to the archers. Knock your arrows! Does knock mean draw? No, sir. Do y'all plan on dying tonight?
No, I mean, a dick, but
good in this
a great dick in this episode.
This is kind of one of those times you realize why he's in the position he's in. Like, we've been giving nothing but reasons to kind of go, why the fuck would Jeor make this guy the shit? Like, why would this guy be Jeor's kind of second in command, master of arms sort of deal? And this is one of those times where you go, oh, I like genuinely in this moment when you're left with no choice, you'd follow him. Like he rallies men behind him in a way that you don't see a lot of people capable of doing. So like I enjoyed him in this episode big time. But
no, he knows his weapons. Like he knows his way around him. Like he's pretty clean with it, and like it takes just a different kind of person to lead in battle. Like you gotta just have a little bit of crazy in you. Yeah, like it's I don't know. I can't put myself there whatsoever. It's just like holy, like what? I don't know. It's insane. But I think that's like he's a piece of shit every other day of the week though. But man, if it's battle time, like I would kind of want him.
I kind of fuck with that guy.
Yeah.
Kind of fuck with you, dog.
I'd want him on my team. I wouldn't want him against me, I guess. So.
No, for sure. But amidst the beginning of the battle, Sam brings Gilly and her baby to a storage room where she can hide, and Gilly's like, wait, where are you going?
You literally just said you weren't going to leave me.
I gotta go fight with these guys, dude. And she's like, but you just said wherever I go, you go.
Like, I didn't mean the same room. I mean, I'll just be right outside,
Well, and this is one of those moments where you just realize just how much heart and courage Sam has, you know, like, and how selfless he is more than anything. You know, if it was up to him, I'm sure he would go ahead and stick around down here.
100%.
But his brothers expect something of him, and he has to live up to that vow, you know, and I respect the shit out of that in Sam. So this is just another little moment when they finally share a kiss here, and he's like, I'm going. Like, he wants to do everything he can to protect them, but he's got to protect his friends, even if he can't. You know, the way Gilly puts it, like, you're not important up there.
You're gonna die, like, up there. You won't down here. You matter down here. And he was just like, no, I'm a brother of the Night's Watch. I made a promise, and I got to keep my promise because that's what men do. And
badass.
I was like, oh my God, Sam. Yeah, but Gilly clapping back, being like, well, promise me you won't die. All right. Well, he's like, all right, I got you. Yeah, I don't like.
And typically, that's signing a fucking death warrant.
Yeah, a kiss and promise me you won't die. That was a good buy and a half. Like that was Sam is. I don't know. From that point on a first watch, Sam's gone. But no,
I was just like, gotta prepare myself for that. But
there's many moments in the episode that they really make you think like he's about to go to like a couple times, but then he made a promise, he had to keep it, and he did.
Yes, he did. But as Sam and Pip are preparing arrows at the southern gate, Pip laments that he has never seen a real battle before, or even held a edged blade. And Pip's like, "Why are you not afraid?" And Sam is, there are thousands of wildlings about to come at them. So yeah, of course he's scared. And Pip's like, "How the fuck did you kill a White Walker? Of all people, how the fuck did you kill a White Walker?" And he says, and again, another moment where I'm just like, there's a line here, there's a character, there's an actor here, like everything about this scene is incredible. He explains at that moment he wasn't himself. It didn't matter who he was nothing. And when you're nothing, there is nothing to be afraid of. And he goes, then why are you afraid now? Because I'm not nothing anymore.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's where the performance was nailed in for me. For Sam.
And character, I was just like,
man.
Yes.
Character, I mean, John and Sam are right up there. Like,
and this kind of works to invert my expectations from like literal minutes ago. Whenever I'm like, well, he's gonna fucking die. And then he goes, I'm not nothing anymore. And I'm like, he can't fucking die. Yeah. He's not nothing anymore.
No. No, it was beautiful. And like, I don't know, Pip, poor Pip. Like, he just wasn't battle experienced. And he got one though. He did. For sure, at least that we know of. He might have gotten a couple others that he didn't see. I don't know, but he got one. He went even, I guess, 1 for 1.
He went 1-1.
His KD will be
no respawn here.
It's neutral forever.
Bro went 0-0.
Oh man, poor Pip.
That's fucking funny as KD. But nevertheless, meanwhile, Ygritte spies on the castle to scout numbers of defenders, and she tells the other wildlings that most of the guards are at the top of the wall, that there are few left in the castle. And the group immediately take off towards Castle Black's southern gate, and while Ygritte seems to have second thoughts, north of the wall, the massive wildling army emerges from the woods, their numbers including giants, riding atop mammoths. And Alistair orders the archers on the wall to knock their arrows, but instead they draw, while Gren accidentally drops a barrel down the fucking wall, and Alistair angrily drills his men on properly following orders when another horn blows from down below, signaling an unexpected attack from Tormund's band of wildlings at the southern entrance. And realizing the dire need for experienced men to defend the keep, Alistair orders Janos Slint to assume command of the wall's defenses and heads below to join the melee. And below, Tormund and Styr's forces charge the gate, while Ygritte, acting as something of a sniper, manages to pick off several men defending the gate with her bow. And Pip is up top firing a crossbow as Sam's just reloading it for him. Or like, I think they're rotating crossbows, like there's 2 of them. And he's just loading one, handing him it, handing him it.
I mean, That's pretty as helpful as Sam could get there, you know, like actually being helpful there, yeah. But I know I love Egret as she's coming up. Like she has her arrows, but she literally grabbed like some of the flaming arrows that they shot
out of a body and just shot. That was hard.
A shot that you fought like you saw the arrow like go through like one of the little windows. And like I don't know if it did hit somebody, but like it was just a really cool like point of view. Like
they
show,
right behind her. They show it hit the guy in the next cut. And I don't know if it literally hits the guy, but the next cut's a dude with a flaming arrow falling down. But
no, yeah, some of these shots were like a lot of them is just chaos, and you're just focused on like all the crazy stuff that's happening. But a shot like that, it was like I don't know, it was just like really satisfying to see. Like ooh, like okay, Egret, like I was like she just showed her skill, but also looking beautiful at the same time. Like the shot, like looking
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, graceful as ever. She's God, losing Oberyn and Egret back to back, man. That one fucking hurts. Season 4, man. They give you a couple wins. You know, they're like, we'll kill Joffrey and we'll kill Tywin. But between then, we're going to kill two of your favorite fucking characters, okay?
Would you take the trade, you know, if offered it without, you know, haven't seen season 4 yet? Joffrey and Tywin for Egret and Oberyn? I mean...
You kind of got to accept, especially considering pre-season 4, you don't even fucking know Oberyn. You know,
yeah, you're basically losing Egret and a new character you haven't even met yet. Agree? Yeah. I think I'll take Joff. Yeah, you know, it's a sad decision to make,
I'll take
but God. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, because I guess, in Aaron or Lysa, you know, she's in there too.
Yeah, that's kind of a non-factor.
That's just a neutral.
One of those disposable characters where you're probably just like, well, she was gonna die at some point.
Else die? I guess a bunch of prisoners from the mountain. Gren, R.I.P. Pip. True. Sadly, not Slint.
Yeah, not Slint. Not yet.
I think that's it. I guess the cannibal guys. Which I would rather them die.
Big body count on season 4 though. There is undeniably, but Pip's not doing too well. Not hitting anything, and you know, this isn't in the breakdown yet. But whenever he finally does hit someone, and he's like, "I did it! I hit someone," and Sam's like, "Is it over?" Yeah. You know, I'm like, this is why I fucking love Sam, man. Yeah. Like, to be this witty, this, like, so quickly in the heat of battle. Yeah. Is it over? No. Then keep fucking going. You know, like,
good job, buddy. Yeah, good. It's not, we're not done.
Good job, buddy. That's what you were supposed to do.
Yeah. Finally. Yeah, it could have, like, I don't know. It could have, like, I don't know. I love Sam. Sam was, I don't know. He
was on one this episode.
He was.
And I think that's what kind of pays off about spending an entire episode with certain storylines. You know, like we haven't given Sam or John Bradley anything in this show so far, character or performance not, and it's because he never has the chance to. You know, he's a great character. Yeah. He's very consistent. He's been very relevant in a lot of stories, but just always a little part of every episode. When he finally gets a chance to be top 2 main characters of an episode, like that's the shit right there.
Hey, I mean, this man eventually ends up as Grand Maester on the Brand's Council. Kind of like, isn't he? Like, did he go back to the Citadel? Is that what he was doing? He was going back to, or maybe I don't know why I think that. Maybe that's just my headcanon that he went back there and he just led and like just read everything.
Oh, I think it must be a headcanon because I'm pretty sure he's Grand Maester of the 7 Kingdoms at the end.
Yeah, so why would he go back to? Yeah, he probably just wouldn't go back there because that's in Essos, isn't it? It's not even in Westeros.
No, it's in Westeros. It's at I think it's in the heart of like Hightower country. You know, what's that land called? The Citadel is at.
Let's see if I can find it on the map. It'd probably be a little. Let's see, what in is
Old
it?
Town. Old Town.
Old Town?
Yeah. Old Town.
I don't even know which side of Westeros or which coast I should be looking at. The one in between Essos or the one, I guess, on the other side that doesn't connect if it's not a globe. I don't know how the globe works up here. I guess I could have just Googled the Citadel.
Yep, Old Town is the second largest and most populated city in the Seven Kingdoms. It's the seat of the High Towers and is the location of the Citadel.
That's where the High Towers. Interesting.
Yeah. But
that's like, anyway. I don't know why I headcanoned that, I guess.
No, it makes sense. He had to go back to the Citadel to become the Grand Maester, you know. Like he had to go back there to do that.
Maybe that's where they get all the chains. Yeah. Like that's where they keep them all. I don't know. They probably have them.
They don't just send them with a raven or send them on a ship or anything. You know, they're like, you got to come here. It's like a graduation ceremony.
Yeah, and you got to read one book before you go. Like I don't know. It's like just a thing. You got. I mean, I don't know. He can finally go in any section he wants to go in. You know,
he gets hazed by the other maesters.
Yeah, it's just a fraternity.
You got to read for 24 hours straight, pussy. You know?
Like the nerdiest fraternity like hazing ever. Like, oh, you better finish this book in 1 hour, or else we'll make you read another one. Just like I don't know, just like that's all the punishment is just reading. So even if you're more punished, you just learn more.
Yeah, you're just learning. That's fucking fantastic. But nevertheless, Alistair Thorne arrives with the reinforcements from the top of the wall via the wooden lift system, which is being operated by the small boy Ollie. Fuck Ollie till the day I die. And Alistair gives an impassioned speech here.
Yeah.
He says that the Night's Watch has stood for 1,000 years. She will not fall tonight. Fucking incredible speech he gives here. And again, one of those moments where you're like, you know what? I kind of fuck with this dude.
Yeah, I think that's where my line will actually land. This episode, it was a surprising line. I wouldn't have thought it'd come from Alistair Thorne, but man, it was. I mean, he rallied his troops behind him there. You know, I mean, he did.
They
were all freaked out. They were scared as shit. But he came down there, and then he showed what he was about too. Like, I mean, he said that, and he was slicing and dicing. I mean, he was kind of going to town.
Yeah, bro went in. There's a reason. There's a reason he's like the master at arms up there. You know, like he's got it like that. But he gets down there, gives them a speech, and everyone chants following him into battle as it erupts in the courtyard and on the northern side of the wall. Yeah, with me now, with me. Just hard as fuck. But on the north side of the wall, a wildling strike force led by 2 giants, one of which is riding a mammoth, charged towards Castle Black's outer gate. And on top of the wall, Janos Slint, having no skills in any regard, talentless man, a complete and utter fuckwit with no abilities.
Keep going. I mean, like he deserves all of it. Like, he is
such a fucking bitch. It's so terrible.
Anything negative towards him right now. Yeah.
Just complete denial, looking at 2 giants. You know, like when you look from the top of a 700-foot wall and you see 2 beings that look like the man standing next to you, even at this different perspective, like it's like, oh, that guy looks like the same size as this guy standing right below me, but he's 700 feet lower. That's when you know giants are real, buddy.
Yeah, and then you see, oh, that's not a horse. That's a mammoth.
Fucking
mammoth.
Oh,
there is something riding that mammoth that looks like it's riding a horse. Yeah,
okay.
That. I think it was that he did see it, but he was just like,
oh yeah, he absolutely saw it.
And he's like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't see that. That
can't be what's happening right now. But
thank you, Gren. You know,
Gren. Shout out to Gren. Like, just got word from down below. They need experienced men. You need to go down there. And he just goes away. He doesn't do what Alistair did. He doesn't go, okay, well then it's yours. You know, he just like, yeah, down below. Oh yeah, I can fucking hide down there. Fuck yeah, let me go. Immediately plotting his hiding. But everyone looks to John, and John looks back at everyone, and he goes, "Archers, knock!" Draw.
Oh.
The whole winding up and throwing the fucking hand.
Gotta love that. I mean,
I love a good knock draw loose.
I was screaming at my TV at that point. Yeah. I was in it. I was in it with him. It was just more like, I don't know, finally, like, he's leading people. And you're right, like, this is different. Like, this is in battle. Like, this is war, not just him escaping versus, like, a couple wildlings or something of like that. But no, this is real hardened Jon Snow now. Yeah.
But the Night's Watchmen continue to rain down arrows on the advancing wildlings, even killing ones that are attempting to scale the wall. And one of the giants, Dongo, armed with a massive bow.
We know his name?
Yep, that's Dongo.
Let's fucking go. Liam Neeson?
Pimp. He does the coolest kill in potentially all of Game of Thrones, where he fires a giant bow up to the top of the wall, hits one man, and sends him flying down 700 feet.
Oh my God. I mean, yeah, that dude probably had to be dead on impact. I mean, maybe not, because I guess it's through his gut. Yeah, so I don't know, but
it's the size of his fucking body, man. He was fucked.
God, holy shit. Like, that is one. I mean, you know what? If I was gonna go at that battle, that's me.
That's where I want to be.
I'd want to, because
I want to be on the receiving end of the giant forbidden arrow.
I mean, the people down at the bottom, when they saw him land, they must have been like,
What the fuck happened?
How does that? What is that? They had
the panic you experience in that half second, just like.
But then they had to just go right back to battle. Yeah, they're like, they see that and they're like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, here's a cannibal coming to kill me. I have to defend. Yeah, like,
dude, I fucking love Game of Thrones, man. This is such a good fucking show, for that very reason. But he really completely obliterates a dude, and a bunker atop the wall with with a first arrow, but shoved into the ground with a tremendous force, as it came from such a high height. And down in Castle Black,
man, I don't know. That must have been like a whole tree. I know that I'm thinking.
Yeah, right. Like, how do you forge these arrows, dog?
That's I don't know. That's a big. Giant.
Well, this kind of becomes the technology for the dragon killing bow that they try to construct in King's Landing. You know, just not organically fired.
Yeah. They don't actually have giants at the
not south of the wall.
These things, but man, that thing was nasty.
But yeah, down in Castle Black, the battle rages on between the wildlings and the Night's Watch, where Styr and Ygritte continue to just fucking destroy at quite the rate. You know, Ygritte's
KD.
Her KD. That shit's not even close to even.
Yeah. No, she's got at least 500 kills under her belt by now. In her whole life, right. She's been killing.
This battle, I'm saying to think that she alone, you know what I'm saying? I think you're right in thinking over 100 people died.
Because all the villages they raided and all the deaths that she did there.
In this battle alone, like the amount of bows she's firing,
or more people herself.
I think she killed at least, I'm talking at minimum 25,
Yeah. No, because you gotta think, Pip's firing arrows, he only hit one and he was excited to hit that one. Egret's firing an arrow, it's probably hitting someone.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say 90% it's hitting someone. And she probably fired.
There's gotta be more than 100 Night's Watchmen here and this is kind of just a hole, because she is. She is mowing motherfuckers down out here.
Yeah.
But at one point, a group of wildlings breach Castle Black's dining hall, and one wildling is killed when one of them throws a boiling stew in his face and beats him to death with the pot. The Castle Black's cook, named Hob, calmly enters the dining hall and kills a wildling with a massive butcher's knife, and all the while Janos Slint cowards and retreats to a storage room where he discovers Gilly and her baby. And Pip finally manages to kill a wildling with his crossbow, but is then shot through the neck by none other than Ygritte, herself. Sam comforts him as he lay there dying a slow, painful, agonizing death. And that whole scene where he's like, it's okay. You're going to be okay. You know, and like, I appreciate whenever you can tell it's not the character who's in denial. He's just trying to comfort Pip any way he possibly can. He's like, oh boy, my dude's fucked. Okay.
Mace Raymond's on his way. He'll make it okay. It's gonna be fine, man. Don't you just shush. Just don't even talk.
Don't even talk, buddy.
You don't even try. You can't right now. But that was so sad. But I found the number. It's actually a lot lower than I thought. Visibly on screen that are for sure deaths. There's for sure 36 Night's Watchmen that die. There are a few that could be possibly killed. The
Plenty
show
of wounded.
Apparently the show mentions 50 dead. At least
probably next episode.
But yeah, so I guess it was actually less, and then the show said more died. I would have thought it was the other way around, but
yeah, man, it was a bad look out there. But yeah, R.I.P. and peace, Pip, rip Pip, because my man's not getting up after that one. And Sam is, he's like, well, this is just probably not the place for me anymore. He tries to head back to Castle Black's lift system, but he is spotted by the warg, the Then warg, and he charges at Sam as he desperately attempts to load his crossbow, managing to do so and firing a bolt directly into this man's head right before he reaches him. So now Sam, under his belt, has a Then and a White Walker. This dude's only killed two things.
I thought this was the main leader at first. Whenever he was running up to Sam, I thought it was hilarious that he was like fighting someone else, and then like Sam started running, and like he somehow sensed like Sam. He turned around, like he like sensed like I don't know, because he's a cannibal, and in my head I'm like he sees he like can smell Sam. Or I don't know, like
it's like a pie sitting in a windowsill, like with the waft of scent floating towards him,
and he's like, oh, now that's mine. He ran after Sam after he saw him, but then no, luckily he got that shot off though. That was a little too close for comfort there, Sam.
Yeah.
But glad he did it. I really thought it was the leader, but I'm glad the leader got what he got eventually. We'll get there.
He deserved it. But yeah, meanwhile, Alistair Thorne is locked in a vicious duel with Tormund on the catwalks of Castle Black, and both seem evenly matched in skill, which is kind of speaking very highly of Alistair. This is one of those moments where you kind of realize just how much Alistair Thorne has it like that. However, he suffers a grievous wound and is forced to retreat, being dragged to safety as he continues to shout orders to his men. And the Night's Watchmen defending the wall manage to repel most of the wildlings attacking the outer gate, but one giant manages to make it through, greatly weakening the gate by repeatedly smashing it with his fists, managing to single-handedly lift it.
Yeah.
How's that 4 inches of cold rolled steel? Or 4 feet?
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah, I'm like, it doesn't really do much when someone can actually just lift the thing. Yeah. And doesn't even have to break it. Like, nope. I love in like, I don't know, it didn't occur to me until like the end when John was like, yeah, this is just them like testing their capabilities. Like, this isn't even all they got. Like, they're just seeing what they can do. This is night one.
Yeah, I mean, like, if they sent all 100,000 men, that shit would fall tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was them testing the idea that John was telling the truth when he said Castle Black had 1,000 men.
That's the real test. Is
for the wildlings. Yeah, John's like, they were trying to see if I told them the truth about us having 1,000 men, and now they know for a fucking fact we don't. So, like, Castle Black falls tonight is basically what he's saying. That's why he's like, I
gotta go.
Have to go. This is the only chance we have. Yeah, upon seeing this, John knows the inner gate will not hold against the massive giant if the outer gate did not. So he sends a group of brothers led by Gren to hold it at any cost. And
man, yeah, another one. But somehow 6 men and you took down a giant. I mean, it took everything they had, but
yes, it did. Yes, it did. But yeah, one of them is gravely afraid when faced by the giant charging at them. But Gren uses his last moments to stir the courage within his brothers, reciting the Night's Watch oath, and they ready their weapons just as the giant slams himself into the inner gate, and we do not see them until all of them are dead.
Wow, that giant's name is Magmar Tundoweg. Magmar Tundoweg. Wow, that's a...
Magmar Tundoweg.
Referred to by the wildlings as Mag the Mighty. Is it like just a... Like, because it sort of looks like Liam Neeson sometimes, but like I don't know if that's just like a thing that people have said. Yeah, like was it actually like
I'm pretty sure I read that actually did happen. But regardless, Sam arrives to the top of the wall to ask Jon for more to defend the castle below, and Jon tasks Sam. He hands him the keys. He's like, "I need you," and he's like, "I'm not doing very good down there." He's like, "No, I need him more than I need you." And the building of the legend that is Ghost, kind of being like, "Yeah, I need my boy," and him letting him out, and he's like, "We need you, buddy," and he gets out there and he just starts tearing motherfuckers up.
Yeah.
Badass. But
it takes his time to get like a good meal in there. And, he's just going at one guy's neck for a little bit instead of
more fuel.
Yeah. No, that's... Whew. I mean, I was wondering, like, because I knew that they kind of came victorious out of this, in air quotes. But I'm like, man, I wonder like how the tide has really turned here. And then I'm like, well, I guess a direwolf, that's actually pretty huge. Like even just that little turn there is pretty big. But I don't know, like Alistair was doing his thing down there, like doing well, and then Jon coming down to help. Like it's actually like sort of believable that they held because it was only that small group of wildlings from the other side of the wall that were actually in there.
They couldn't breach the gate.
Yeah, it wasn't any.
It was just the wildling. So like, or not the wildling, the giant. So like, they were counting on the people who scaled the wall and that guy, So like, seeing that, it is kind of like, how effective would an attack from the north be if they sent everything they had at it? Would they send multiple giants to open the gate this time and just kind of hold it up? Maybe, I don't know. But
climbing is off the table. I think they know that now. Like I think maybe that's the test. Man. They're like,
the goddamn scythe.
Yeah, that's like. I mean, fuck. You gotta at least just go 100 or a mile that way or a mile the other way. Just get
attack from the south, bro.
Yeah.
But it's pretty hilarious. Jon deciding, I got to go down there. You know what, Ed, you have command. Fuck yes, you do. He's like, bro, what the fuck? And Jon's like, hey, just have them keep firing their arrows. If they get too high up the wall, drop the scythe on them. That's all you got to do, buddy.
I don't know what the scythe is at all until that moment you hear that and you're like, oh, I wonder what the fucking scythe is. I wonder what that's about. And then you see it and you're like, oh, yeah. That's the scythe. That makes
a pretty precise science, by the way. They have to be at a pretty specific height for that to be effective.
That's true. I guess it probably would have caused a lot of ice to fall, and then like if anyone was climbing, like good luck them holding on. Just all that. But I mean, they did actually hit them dead on, which made it just way worse.
Ed was like, "I'm so good at physics. Check this shit out."
Yeah, he was just sitting there the whole time, like calculating.
He was in his mind palace.
Not yet,
Sherlock.
Not yet. It's one of those. It's like classic. Like, oh come on, no, they're getting too close. He's like, now. But, I don't know. I love.
Just keep firing your arrows. Don't worry about these motherfuckers. I got something cooking for them.
Yeah. But he was up there. He was like, if we're gonna die, we might as well have some fun, boys. And then like just get.
He gets his own little knock.
Yeah.
Draw loose.
Oh,
I love a good knock, draw loose, man. I'll never get tired of it. But when Jon descends the wall, he's one of the best oneers in the show when he gets down there and like he's just starting to tear shit up, and then he like stands there above the battle for a second and is like, God damn, man, all right. But he sees and manages to catch the attention of Steer, the leader of the Thens. And the two meet in a single combat where eventually the Then gets the upper hand by knocking Longclaw away. And John, kind of learning from his past experiences, decides he has to do what he must and smashes this man's face with an anvil.
Yeah.
Tosses him into the blacksmith's forge. Steer picks up John and begins strangling him, but John spits blood in his face, which is what Carl did to him.
Yep, finding a little dirty, and I'm learning his lessons.
Yes, he is.
War. No,
distracts him just long enough for him to be able to grab the blacksmith's hammer and bury it into this man's skull.
Yeah, could have been a little more painful, in my opinion, having this guy go. At least it was, I don't know, just getting him done. It was like nothing. But I don't know. I would have, I don't know, maybe like a couple limbs chopped off before he died, or I don't know, something more than just a hammer to the head. But at least it came from John. And I did think the other thing that died was this guy, Steer. Yeah, I thought Sam killed Steer, but then whenever he was fighting John, I'm like, oh, John gets to kill him. That's way better. Yeah, I was like, no, I'd rather have John kill him.
No, this shit looks bad. Cracking the skull like that. But upon killing him, John turns around to find Egret, who spotted him fighting Steer. And Egret's pointing her arrow and her bow at him with an arrow drawn, and he does nothing but smile.
That smile, man, yeah. Like
he's like, "Ah, man, I fucking missed you, dude." And it causes Egret to hesitate, and before either of them can say anything, Egret is shot through the chest by an arrow fired from Ollie, avenging the death of his father at Egret's hands during the wildling attack on the village.
Go back to being the elevator boy, Ollie. You know?
What did John tell you? Stay by the fucking elevator, you worthless pussy.
It was honestly Sam's fault. He was the one that said, grab a weapon and fight. Before, he had to get that little brief, pep talk or, little hype speech. And he was the one that said, find a weapon and fight.
That's true.
So.
Damn it, Sam.
Ollie, he is just a kid, but still fuck him. I don't care that he gets hanged. I don't care.
I don't give a fuck that this man gets his neck broke.
Yeah,
okay.
I want to get there. I can't. That's a.
I can't. That can't come fast enough.
Yeah, I don't care. I know John comes back. I know Ollie doesn't.
That I feel icky watching in this show, and a kid hanging by his neck, choking the life out of him is not one of those things.
Not one of them. Nope. That's what the show can do to you. That's insane. Show.
Any other circumstances, this gets bad. But fuck Ollie for life, bro.
I feel like I'm probably on some sort of watch list after that or something. Right. I don't know. I feel like the government can't really hear that.
Yeah, that's not something that I condone in any true sense of the word. But in this fictional setting where death is wanton, and I want it for Ollie, I'm gonna go for it. But John holds her in his arms as she tells him that they should have stayed in that cave. And that's my line.
Yeah.
Remember the cave? Yeah. We should have stayed in that cave. And then John kind of doing for her what Sam just did for Pip, and kind of being like, we'll go together, we'll go back. And then her getting to drop the most famous line one last time.
Bar. Yeah.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
It's just insane that these two are actually married. 2 children now. A boy and a girl. Lovely. They went back to that cave in real life.
They did.
They didn't need the show.
You know what? That's the happy ending that they deserve. Mm-hmm. I can always be good with that.
Yeah, maybe this was taking up too much time. I have no idea how the relationship worked and when she was first pregnant. But in my headcanon, which is real life as well, I guess, is that she just got pregnant and then she needed time to take away, and then they were just together, and then it's well, kill me off.
I actually don't think they were confirmed to be together until after she died on the show. I don't think their relationship was public the entire time they were on the show together.
But they were together, but just not publicly.
I don't even think that
they weren't together at all.
They've been very, very private about it, which I respect. Kit Harington, in interviews about it, is hey man, it started when it started. It wasn't while they were filming. It was kind of the Like that's when they met, and that's where they probably sparked quite a bit, I'd assume. But apparently that's not when they started dating, which is interesting to me. But regardless, they're happily married now. And I'm happy for them because this is one of my favorite on-screen relationships of all time. But he holds her in his arms in a shot that mirrors quite heavily the shot of him holding Daenerys in the finale of the show. And they lament the circumstances that prevented them from being together as she succumbs to death. But atop the wall, Dolores said, who Jon left in command of the defenses, orders the men to drop the scythe. A huge section of ice suddenly falls away from the wall, revealing a massive anchor-like blade attached to a chain that swings, and it mows down a bunch of wildlings attempting to climb its face. And Ed notices that upon this, the wildling forces are like, all right, you know what? That's cool for today. We're all good. And they head back into the forest, proclaiming that they have stopped them for now, but that the wildlings still outnumber them 1,000 to 1.
Yeah, it's like the game one of the NBA Finals, but you hit that buzzer beater. Like that was like it sent like the crowd had nothing else to say. They were like, "All right, that's our cue to go. We'll be back tomorrow, but we won't climb in the wall anywhere near that thing." I don't know what a moment to get Egret's death and like just be like, oh man, but then like you get like a sick badass scythe just drop and you're like, oh well, that's just too cool to not be like okay.
Right.
Like, I don't know, that was just too cool. But yeah, this a roller coaster. This and I mean, it just did not stop. Like that's like once the battle started, I mean, it was just moment after moment after moment, like just chaos. And yeah, like crazy how this one just is. Like under the radar. I mean, I do still think like, Battle of the Bastards, that's just a different tier of like a battle episode. I remember like when like probably episode 3 of season 8, that's just pretty strong. I mean that was badass. I remember a battle, Jaime and Bronn Lannisters versus Daenerys and the Dark Dragon.
That's season 7.
That one was just I just remember just visually was beautiful. But like this as a whole episode.
There's a lot of character work here. There's a lot of fantastic acting moments. Like there's a lot of forging of characters that I didn't even really realize happened in this episode. Like the way that this episode is more formative than probably any other episode of the show on Jon and Sam is kind of impressive. You know?
Yeah, it's the penultimate episode of a season. It's got, like they're always something big. Always something big happens there. And I don't think, usually it's a death, of someone.
And how about Egret joining that penultimate episode death count? You got Ned, Robb, the Starks.
Robb. Who was season 3? What happened?
That was Robb. That was Robb and Catelyn. Okay. Season 2 was Blackwater, so it wasn't anyone huge, but it was just Stannis' forces. And then Egret kind of joined in that a goodbye list for the penultimate episode.
Yeah, the goodbye, but definitely the new birth of Jon and Sam. Like they were already on their climb, but this is whenever I don't know.
Things
they're
change.
hardened. Yeah, they're hardened now. They got that experience.
But below, after we see them retreating, a heavily wounded Tormund is surrounded in the courtyard, but continues to fight desperately, being the only wildling left alive in Castle Black.
Dude tanked like 7 arrows too.
Yeah.
Jon was like, all right, here's one more for good measure.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Fuck this, man. I want you to stop. I like you, man. Let's chill out a little bit. And this was the moment that I decided Kit Harington was my performance. The shift that happens in him. I know he became the leader earlier in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
But becoming the brooding dark force that he is happens after Egret's death. Whenever he just shoots him in the leg and he's like, I should have killed you when I had the chance. And he goes, you should have.
Yeah. You're right. There was a stark change in him.
That's intense, you should have fucking killed me.
Yeah. He's not like that before today.
No, he's not.
Not before an hour ago. He's not even like
this
that.
This man's different now, and I really, 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 really like his performance of it. But Sam returns down to Gilly just like he promised, and discovers Janos Slint, who have hidden fear during the entire battle. And against all odds, the Night's Watch have repelled Mance Rayder's forces for the time being. But the following morning, what is left of Castle Black's garrison begin to regroup and prepare for the next inevitable attack. And Jon discusses with Sam that he has a suicidal solution to the end. He plans to assassinate Mance Rayder, noting that he is the only thing binding the Wildling clans together, and his death will rob them of that purpose and leadership. And Sam's like, dude, that's a terrible fucking plan. And Jon being like, yeah, it absolutely fucking is.
You got a better one?
Have a plan?
Yeah. Do you have any other plan to not die? Because tomorrow we will. We thought we were going to die today. We got lucky. Because they didn't send everything at us. Yeah, I mean, there's like, I was trying to think like in Sam's shoes. I'm like, well, let's see. What other options do we have?
There isn't one.
Nope. Yeah, diplomacy is the only way.
This leads to one of the coolest little things in this entire show, I think, which is, like the reason that they don't get attacked again, and Jon doesn't die or even kill Mance Rayder, is because Stannis Baratheon's forces, for some reason, go north of the Wall to talk to the Wildling clan, to talk to the King Beyond the Wall.
That's what happens?
Yep. They get surrounded on all sides and by Stannis Baratheon's forces.
Oh my god, that's right.
Yeah, so pretty much all of season 5 and into season 6, save for when they go north of the Wall, Stannis Baratheon's forces are at the Wall. That's like the entirety of the season.
Yeah, I'm like blank on a lot of that happens. Like I know the stuff that's north of the Wall that I remember that happens next is like is it Hardhome?
Oh yeah, Hardhome.
Like that's the one thing that I just remember the Night King raising everyone up and then having the one boat of the guys like leaving as they're watching that. That's like the next big thing that I remember. In between there and then
that is probably the next big thing. That like what I just described is literally the next thing that happens beyond the Wall. And I don't know that we do much beyond the Wall before Hardhome comes back around. But regardless, they go below to the castle, to the tunnel, to find Gren and his team having stopped the giant from entering, and they have to have all the bodies burned. But before Jon leaves, he remembers the promise he made to Jeor Mormont and decides to leave Longclaw with Sam. And the little conversation here where he's like, "Open the gate, close it as soon as I am out." And Sam's like, "Jon, come back." And Jon, again with that little smile, looks at Sam and is like, "You know what? We'll see. You know, I'm cool. I'm cool if I die now." You know, there's something that I've always thought of Jon in later seasons, and it's that he has a death wish, like 100%. He's doing everything he possibly can to die.
Yeah.
He wants to go out in the most honorable way possible, so he's always trying his best. But when he goes and faces down an entire fucking army by himself, just standing out there, dumb as hell, he knows he's probably going to die. He just happens not to die. In season 8, episode 3, an undead dragon roars in his face, and he roars back, bro.
A man that's not afraid of death is probably the most fearful thing in the world. I don't if you don't if you don't fear death, I mean he just got lucky a lot of times. Like you're right. Yeah, he just managed to get out of it a lot. But he didn't care. You're right, he did roar back. I forgot about that. He did just scream back.
He like screams
I'm
back.
I'm part dragon too, bitch. Yeah.
No, man. But I always thought that started when he dies.
Now.
This is when that starts. It's after Ygritte dies that he goes, "I can die." You know? Which is kind of fucking sad, man.
Maybe that's what he meant by, like, we'll go to the cave. He's like, yeah, no, you know what?
No, like, I'll follow you.
Yeah. Like I'm coming soon.
Like that's what reframes what he says to Tormund a couple seconds earlier. It's not like you should have. I'm gonna fuck you guys up. It's you should have. I wish I was dead.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely it. Yeah,
yeah. Like you should have killed me. I'd be much happier dead than I am right now.
Dang. Woo. Yeah, no,
and that's why Kit Harington, man, I had to go with him. He was performing that so fucking good.
Shit, does he? No, I really like spread.
John Bradley had too many good moments, I think.
Yeah, I really
it's those two. So I think that if we spread the love, I think it's fine. But Sam tells John to come back, and he takes his leave. But that concludes the episode. One of my favorite things about this scene too, that I think is just, I don't know, kind of funny, because I wonder what this dude was up to during the battle. When Sam turns around and like waves the fucking torch, and like the gate raises. I like to imagine that during the entire battle, there was a dude who just like watched the giant versus Gren and his troops and was like, nobody knows I'm here. I just gotta keep this gate lowered, you know, like.
Hey. I mean, yeah, I guess Oliver still fuck him, but he had to just be the elevator boy. Yeah. And yeah, I guess there's someone there. Probably.
And what a real one this guy is for not even questioning why John might need to go beyond the wall. He's just like, oh, someone needs me to open the gate. Okay.
Okay, that's the signal. That's my cue. That's my job. Open the gate. Yep.
Everybody usually forgets I'm here, you know, like.
Yeah. At least Sam remembers me. I'll open the door. He doesn't even know it's Sam or John, probably. I don't know.
Like, no, just sees a fucking flame at the end of the hall.
I thought about that.
Yeah, I didn't either until this watch, and I saw, because I thought Sam was gonna like pull a lever like right next to him, but then he like turns around and waves an entire torch, and I just thought it was.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, because then the giant could have just gone in there and then opened it up.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Right, so he had to breathe to get. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. But wow. Yeah, no, that one guy, he was super excited to do it. Yeah, he saw that signal, was like, finally, I can do it. I can do my job. But yeah, no, that was...
yeah, I think this is time for a rating, and this is genuinely, you know, you said you felt like you kind of slept on this episode, and I didn't, and I'm still massively surprised by just how good it is. Something that I found in episodes I've been anticipating wildly is that I remember, like, they're all super fucking good, but I remember them as perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, well, I could poke holes here. Mm-hmm. This is better than I remembered it being in like every regard. And that doesn't happen a lot. And, so like enjoyment wise, I'm at a surefire 10 with this one.
All right, good. I was like, no sumai needed. Enjoyment. This is, I'm glad we're back at a 10 for an episode. We've had a lot of 9.75s, a lot of 9.5s. We're getting close. But this one, after I was done, I'm like, we're back. Like this is back at a surefire 10. Yeah, I was there, for sure. And man, I mean,
since a 10.
Since the Reigns of Castamere.
Since the Red Wedding.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah. And then before that was The Climb. And then
we gave a few 10s in season 3. I think this season, ironically enough, has been the season we've been the most lenient with the 10s. Or not lenient, the most staunch with the 10s. We've even though I would probably argue undoubtedly it's the best season so far.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just the stakes are just higher. Like you know the characters more. Like there's huge deaths happening. Like no, this season is just different. And like the things, I don't know. Like it's I guess the numbers might not reflect it, because I mean there was that one episode. Jamie's storyline dinked it a bit there, and then
episode 5 was just all in all underwhelming for how good it probably should have been.
But I mean, every other
coronation, man.
Yeah, I know.
Liven it up, buddy.
But no, this is every other episode. I mean, it's been a 9.25 or above, pretty much. Like every other episode, other than that. So I think I'm still there at like, I don't know, maybe we underappreciate how good season 3 is.
Season 3 is real fucking strong, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I just think that there's another level to expanding the story and in this season, and kind of the culmination of a lot of arcs. Tyrion finally being in the crosshairs his family, which has been something that's been happening while the Wildlings versus the Night's Watch finally comes to fruition. There's all sorts of stuff that it feels like is reaching its full potential. And it's only halfway through the fucking show, man. It's only halfway through the fucking show. So, we got a lot to look forward to, but, critically, this is again one of the best episodes of the season. I thought it was visually maybe the best episode. I think the only one that gives it a run for its money is, episode 6, The Laws of Gods and Men.
This one's pretty strong. Performances, like the actual character development we saw here. Like, it's one location and
that was what surprised me. I knew the action was epic. I remembered awesome kills, like the shit Egret was doing and what the giant did. But I didn't expect to be so fulfilled story-wise as far as John and Samwell are concerned, which is something that I fucking love to see. So I'm close to the best of the season. 9.75. It's either that or a 9.5, I think.
I think it's the best of the season. I think it does deserve that bump.
All right.
For how, I don't know, it shocked the hell out of me. Like, you're right. Like, yeah, I knew the action was awesome. I knew the scythe was coming, and I'm like, oh, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for the giant to go under the gate. Like, I'm waiting for all these big moments. But man, was I actually more interested in Sam, like, just from the very start. I'm like, whoa, okay, Sam, take the show. Like, you're like, I don't know, you're dominating right now. And then
out here.
And then John, yeah, I know this arc, like, I never really saw the, like, dark twist in him that happened right here. But, like, it's very clear now. Like, now.
No, yeah, and that's what's interesting is you binge it through, and it's like, I didn't realize how, because he's always been intense. But he's never been grim, you know? Like, he's at least had something that felt hopeful in him. Like a sense of purpose. He knew exactly what he needed to do, but it was in a hopeful sense of what he needed to do. This, he knows what he needs to do, and he plans on dying to do it. And that's it's a different change in him, which I think is it looks good on him. And the rest of the show, Kit Harington, the numbers are about to skyrocket for Kit Harington and Jon Snow.
Yeah, the future is bright for Jon. He'll get quite a few by the end of the show, that's for sure. But yeah, that shakes it out to a 9.83 average, which is the king of the season. And let's see, last season, a little
kinder than IMDb. IMDb at a 9.7. So
it ties with the Red Wedding, Reigns of Castamere.
I would never have told you that I thought that was the case prior to this rewatch, but I'm fairly confident it is.
I'm there. Yeah, no, I'm there. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 94, not even 100 for this one. Blasphemy. Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes kind of annoys me sometimes.
But some people just have to be. Someone has to be the critic, you know, and they have to probably feel good that they are. But anyway, no, this one is a surprised the hell out of me. Like, I don't know, I did underrate this episode a whole lot, but now I'm a big fan of this penultimate.
Yeah, where would you put this amongst the penultimate episo's we've seen? We've got Blackwater, we've got Baylor, we've got Reigns of Castamere in this one.
Baylor's visually was beautiful. I remember that.
I think we're looking at, shockingly enough, I still think you go 1, 3, 4, 2. Like, I loved this season, this penultimate episode, but it's still not Baylor or Reigns of Castamere.
The Red Wedding is different. Yeah, like Blackwater, it's above Blackwater for me.
This one kind of washes Blackwater, which is kind of crazy, you know.
I think Baylor and Reigns of Castamere, that's 1 and 2. I mean, not like interchangeable. I think Baylor is still number 1, and then Red Wedding number 2. But the gap is very small, and then a little jump down for this episode, and then I don't know, kind of not a sizable gap, but Blackwater is comfortably in fourth place.
Comfortably the least likable penultimate, which is saying a lot considering I fucking love it. So
they're all
fantastic.
penultimate for a reason. I know, like they have that energy about them. They all have that same penultimate feel.
Yeah, we got a few big penultimates left. I can't really remember season 5's penultimate episode because Hard Home is 8.
Yep. The Dance of Dragons is the episode title.
Oh, that's when the Sons of the Harpy really I think that's what that is, when the Sons of the Harpy like attack Daenerys and her whole squad.
Yeah. Is that like, when does one of her dragons go down to
season 7 penultimate episode?
Okay, yeah, that's not then. Okay.
That is a penultimate episode though. Season 7's penultimate episode. Yeah. Season 6 is Battle of the Bastards, and season 8 is when Daenerys burns King's Landing.
Let's see. Looks like Jon watches wildlings enter inside Castle Black. Stannis watches as Shireen is sacrificed. Jaime sits and speaks with Doran. Arya or Lana sells Loister's clan. Oh, Arya's in full nobody training mode. Dany claps to start the fight.
Yeah.
During riots, Dany climbs on and rides Drogon. Okay, that's like whenever it's in the gladiator pit, she gets.
Oh, that's the first time she rides Drogon and burning shit. Okay,
yeah,
that's what happens in that
okay, yeah, that's it.
And then he flies off, and she gets taken in by the Dothraki to join the Dosh Khaleen. But yeah, we've got like we just all that is still ahead of us, dog. There is so much that happens in this show, and after next week, we will be season wise officially halfway done.
That's insane. That's nuts. And the back half's going to go faster than the first half. Yes. We got less episodes to cover. But man, yeah, no, it's just been, this rewatch has been nuts. Like the amount I'm getting out of the show still. On my fourth who knows how many times I've seen it by now. I don't know. But man, every time it just gets a little better.
Yeah.
I noticed something a little more that I didn't notice before. And this one was John's sad boy arc now.
Yeah, Jon officially becomes the sad boy. He does. But with that, I think we will conclude this episode of Winter is Blooming. If you would, head to patreon.com/PennyBloomPod, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content and a $1.50 tier, which will get you nothing but written content, that being mostly movie reviews over there. It's been a lot of fun to get back into writing, and for $1.50 a month, you can support this podcast financially and get all that you want. And for $3, you get our audio content and any fictional works we might do. So that's a lot of fun. And you get to support this podcast financially. It's huge because it costs me money, and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. Head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. Our episodes have started uploading on YouTube. So if that's where you're listening, we appreciate you greatly, and we'd ask that you subscribe. That'd be super fucking awesome, because that's another way potentially we could monetize and make a little quiche, which would be very cool. And therein, let's see, head to Threads and follow at Penny Bloom Podcast as well. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review, and download some episodes for me if you will. We've got a lot going on right now. We're doing a director spotlight, as this week is the Greta Gerwig.
Let's go.
The Gerwig. We are talking 3 of Greta Gerwig's movies. We got Lady Bird coming tomorrow. We've got, let's see, Little Women the day after that, and then Barbie the day after that. So big old Greta Gerwig for us. And then Friday we continue our comic book movie journey through film, and that will bring us the likes of
Batman Begins, I believe. Yeah.
A couple episodes back to back where we'll be joined by Claire DeJaneiro. She's joining us for Barbie and Batman Begins. So we got an additional co-host this week out of Claire DeJaneiro. So we can't wait for you to hear that. Kind of adding to our Nolan.
Yeah,
spotlight.
tick on the Nolan. Yeah, another little tick on the Nolan spotlight, which is nice.
Yeah, just a little extra. Just a little extra. We just wrapped that up with Oppenheimer last week, but we're going back to Batman Begins this Friday. And we'll be back next week for the season 4 finale, which is kind of crazy that we're already there. But, we appreciate you greatly if you've been enjoying this rewatch, and we hope you enjoy it as well. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And knock, draw, lose.